Oh, we're live.
You're alive. All right.
Double check. Oh, game audio is a little loud.
Uh-huh.
There we go. All right. Well,
Let's see. Double check that we're live on so's and so's. There we go. All right, we should be good.
Awesome. Well, hello everyone. We are some of the devs with Crispy Creative. My name is Kolton Coates. I'm a junior narrative developer.
And I am Martin. I am Martin Hunsis. I am one of the narrative designers.
So yeah, we are a part of the long journey to an uncertain end team, and so we're just doing a little bit more of a live stream Q&A today to talk some more about the narrative design and the story that went into the demo. So feel free to ask us any questions that you have about the characters, quests, planets, really anything, and we will do our best to answer them.
Yep. Yeah, and on that note, me and Kolton are about, what are we, half? 2/5 of the narrative team in total. So we're going to be fielding questions for everyone right now.
And doing our best to answer them for everyone, too.
Yeah. All right, let's get going.
All right. So we're on the first planet in the demo right now. And then real quick, before we get too far into the demo, I do want to remind everyone that we are still on Kickstarter. We're in our final week right now. We have hit our initial goal, but we have a lot of really cool stretch goals, including new planets, additional characters, and a Switch port that will be included with our stretch goals. So even though we've hit our base goal to try to get the demo done, we do want to try to hit those stretch goals so we can give you guys as much content as possible. So please keep plugging the Kickstarter in your social circles as much as possible. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, there's plenty of fun tiers there, so go ahead and have a look. If there's something you want to support, please do, because I know pretty much all of us want to write that robot character.
Oh, definitely.
All right, you were saying we're on the first planet right now. Those of you who played the demo are familiar with this. Is Spacer's Folly, and yeah, this is the base job screen of the game. So for those of you who don't know, this is a game about a space opera in which you are. It's a narrative heavy game with a sort of resource management mechanic to it, where you travel to different planets, you do errands, you do jobs, you kind of send the right people on the right jobs. So it's a little bit of like management strategy there, and a lot of that takes the shape of these jobs that we've set up, which you can see on the left-hand side of the screen: the local store, outskirts, Lenny's Lot Case. So yeah, these are little micro narratives or mini missions that you can send your crew members on. Yeah, it's a question of picking the right person for the right job and making the right choices to see what happens.
So a lot of these jobs actually are partially based on when I was first brought on the project. Kylan really needed some just like quick job ideas just to put in for a gameplay demo, just to kind of get the pitch deck ready for the game. And so at least a couple of these are actually kind of born out of some of the jobs that came out of that quick little getting everything set up for the gameplay demo and then evolving them so they fit the eventual format that you see in the demo. But the outskirts and then the landing pad jobs both have definitely evolved quite a bit from the previous iterations. The landing pad job originally had a bunch of like really weird little story elements that I liked, but were not feasible even remotely for the demo.
These are a lot of fun to write too. Like these are, especially the short jobs. which
Mhm.
allow you to kind of like veer off the main narrative path or the main like thematic paths of the story and the game in general, and just kind of you know, think outside the box and come up with some weirder, some fun stuff like these little side quests. Uh, yeah, I know I've had a ton of fun writing these, at
Oh,
least.
for sure. I did. Yeah, this one's I did the art of the trade one, and so I for some reason in pretty much every sci-fi show or like video game that I play, there always seems to be this character that's this very like kind of fast talking snake oil salesman type person, and so
Scumbag merchant.
yeah, and so as I was getting it kind of put together, I I really wanted like a little job just to kind of showcase that. One, just because it's like I said, it's something that I see in a lot of media involving like sci-fi or even like the sci-fi westerns, and so it is sort of a familiar thing that people can recognize as a character trope for little side characters, but also just because it was a lot of fun to look up synonyms to try to make them like talk a lot more eloquently than you might expect a lot of people on like a Tatooine-esque planet.
It has that fun part of being like unnecessarily verbose to,
Mhm,
you know, to trick people into thinking they're saying something of substance when they're not.
mhm.
So it really like it really works to just have the dictionary and be like, yeah, let's just switch these out for something with 16 syllables. Nobody's gonna
Yeah,
catch
exactly.
on. So yeah, like regarding the jobs themselves, this one I believe. What are the skills for this one? I think it's covered by the ribbon right now,
It
and
is,
I
so
feel like I can
the
get
yeah, the ones we're
deception
mainly
and
going to be
business.
looking for. Mhm. Oh, sorry
Right, right.
about
No, no worries. I just remembered that we have them at the top as well. So yeah,
Mhm,
you can see like each job. They kind of give you an idea of what might be good here. What's like a what's an interesting uh, you know, if it's a job that would require like manual labor, obviously muscle is going to be a skill that's going to come into play.
mhm,
But what we usually do, like writing these jobs, usually either give you an alternative uh, at the very start of the job, or you know, if you end up sending the wrong person or like you know a non-muscle skill crew member on a job that requires muscle, oftentimes there are like additional paths uh, into the narrative where like new opportunities present themselves and new you know new choices and alternatives might be possible. So in this case,
mhm.
this would be a great job for either Denny or for Zeke. So we can assign either of them.
Let's see. Oh man, yeah, I really love this type of character too. It's a very, like I was mentioning earlier, it's very fun to figure out adding in that kind of a verboseness to their dialogue to make them come across. Um, I tried to go a lot with the Ferengi from Star Trek. They were a big kind of inspiration behind this kind of character, as well as some of the side characters from Samurai Jack, the cartoon. There's some definite like huckster type characters mixed in there that influenced influenced this guy quite a bit.
Mm. Yeah, like you mentioned, like I feel like we all draw inspiration from all sorts of different places, and those are some really interesting references already. I like this question. The is each character, someone in chat, is each character intended to have a distinct theme in how they relate to the player character, or is there built-in overlap? I know Truly's theme, general sense of trust. We can share ones for the others. Uh, yeah, I'd love to talk about this for a bit.
Mhm. For sure, yeah. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, these are actually uh, we. So when it was starting up, we had like very general ideas of what we wanted to touch. You know, these kind of one word uh, narrative themes for each and every one, and we're kind of working out like or polishing up like these long form narrative arcs for each and every character. So there are so in regards to your question, they all do have distinct themes. They all have distinct kind of characteristics that come into play, and distinct, very, in their personalities and in their struggles, that you as the player, as their friend, or as their captain or their ship, are able to kind of respond to, and share your feelings and thoughts on. Uh, but there is a certain amount of overlap in that this is a game essentially where you are running from the villain, from your abusive ex, and that experience of trying to get away from something, or hiding from something, or escaping something, uh, is definitely something that appears for all. That kind of feeling of breaking free.
Hmm. And it's with that breaking free, something that I do really love about having that as kind of the big overlapping arc for a lot of the characters is there's so many different ways to approach it. Because it's, like Matthias, as like flamboyant and, out there and big as he is, there is this certain amount of like vulnerability you can explore where it is this sort of duality of naturally he wants to be performing and be out there and be the center of attention, but because he is kind of on the run and he's with this crew that's trying to keep a low profile, if you choose these options that really let him fully express himself and just go full, RuPaul's performance and getting oh man, what's it? Do you remember what it's called when the like competition at the end for RuPaul's, where they like verse each other?
Man, I have no idea.
So it's for those of you who watch RuPaul's, unfortunately I don't watch it nearly enough as I should. But when they do those final like lip sync battle things, where they're both just like going for it, like at least with my interpretation of Matthias, that's how he wants to be like 24/7. But then finding the balance of letting him like fully, do that and just be super out there, and also like, oh right, we need to keep a super low profile because if the authorities know we're here and they do like a little bit of digging, it's not going to be great for us.
Yeah, exactly. So there is like that balance. Again, returning to that theme of like breaking free, or running away, or escaping, or finding a new self. Being, like in Chaplin, be yourself, embrace what you love, and learn what you love. Learn what it is you love. It's really fun because with those interactions and with characters like that, you can really explore it on a number of levels, where it is either the very clear mechanical, we are physically running from something, or you're catching up with certain aspects of yourself that you're not happy with. So like you said with Matthias, wanting to be a certain something, being aware that they can't be a certain something all the time. And in Matthias's case, it's also he's getting older. He's not the young. He's not young, energetic. He can't jump 50 feet into the air anymore. Like, he's gonna have to settle down, and just like that kind of mental challenge of coming to terms with that. That's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's oh gosh, I could go on and on about how how each of the characters, how it's like interesting the back and forth we have figuring out the character arcs, and then how we can put them in a job without making it too like obvious that, oh, this is gonna 100% get the attention of authorities if you let your character do this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's see if we can get some jobs going. See if we can get moving.
All right, so yeah, so we can get someone on the trade deal with Kim. Something else I want to point out, since I know there's been a little confusion I've seen in the Discord. So the little symbols on the jobs actually tell you what kind of jobs they are. So we have, for the demo, we have the same basic formula, but this non-filled in star is a short story job. The filled in star is a long story job. And then the sort of recycling like logo is a repeatable job. And so with it, like I said, in the demo, everything is kind of the same format with the types of jobs that we have set up. But in the future game, we're hoping we can mix it up a little bit. So there would be one or two long story jobs that are like they have 3 to 4 choices, maybe only one short story job, and then potentially even like one or two repeatable jobs depending on the type of planet you're on. But
Mm,
mixing up those types of jobs and then having the easy to identify icons is something we're working on improving right now.
for sure. And just additionally adding to the research management part of the game, where it's a question of you have more jobs than you have crew members, or you have you have a single job where any one of them could do well, and it's just a question of what's the right call. Who do you send? What do you do?
Hmm.
So yeah.
I know I've seen some comparisons to a FTL, and it is very much like when you're playing FTL, you have your crew members that are, really good at like specific sections of the ship, and you just have to pick, oh, okay, this person's going to go to this section, this person's going to go to this section as you're traveling around to try to maximize the efficiency of your setup.
Mm.
But unlike FTL, they don't have little secret things where if you put one random crew member in a medical, they'll suddenly spring forth and become a world-renowned medic. It's not a knock on the game or anything like that. I really like that narrative element that we have in here of if you just randomly decide, well, it says this character's okay, I'll give it a shot. You can get these sort of weird interactions that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Mm. Yeah, and I think it's also a question of that's also like a narrative thing that we're working on with the team, and just thinking about how to write jobs and such. It is a question of like, how do you maintain that these characters are individual characters? How do you maintain that they are people and they have opinions and feelings, and their choices are their own? It's something that I think is very common in RPGs. Is our characters will come up to you and be like, "Hey, this is a life-defining moment for me. What do you think I should do?" Or like, "Tell me what to do and I'll do that." So it is something that we've talked about a lot of maintaining agency for the character, you know so what the impact you have on them is might be a little bit more subtle. It might be a little bit more human or personable, rather than just uh, telling them that this is how you should live your life. And that kind of applies to what
Hmm.
you were saying, in the sense that they have these certain skills, they have these certain abilities, and it's up to you as a captain to kind of see who does well, who does well where.
Oh, definitely. And with a comment from Ace that they noticed they were playing the demo, weighing things as you like eye them up, and then figuring out something for everyone. That is something we tried to do with developing the jobs for the demo and getting them laid out, making sure that at well, yes, in on some of the planets it is more of a, oh, well, this person doesn't really have anything they can do because I assigned someone else to a job they would have been good at. Um, we tried to balance it out where it would be relatively easy to figure out like, oh, okay, I can spread my crew members out this way and everyone can be kind of working on jobs at the same time.
Mm.
And I do want to remind everyone that the demo right now is for A Long Journey to an Uncertain End on Kickstarter. We have reached our base funding goal, but we do have some really awesome stretch goals for adding in additional planets, characters, and a Nintendo Switch port. And we're very excited to try to bring in as much content as possible using those stretch goals. And we ask you guys to make sure and check out the Kickstarter page and see if it's something you're interested in, or if you've already donated, thank you so much. And we ask that you promo it to your friends as well.
Yeah, tell everyone. Let's see. Yeah, let's get Zero on this, uh, and and then see if we can get some fuel, if we can get off this planet.
Oh, for sure. Let's see, what are some other jobs we might want to stick some people on? So we've got,
Uh,
let's ask the chat, what are some other jobs you guys want to see? So we've got the outskirts, the Lenny's Latkes, which are the two short jobs, and then we've got the general store. I think we might skip the long story job right now, just because we want to see if we can get off the planet. And with some of the interplanet dialogue, I don't know if we'd be able to get to another one.
So you can actually see on the jobs as well what is possible, or what you can potentially get from doing those jobs. So we can like kind of estimate here. Again, if we were lower on time and days essentially, we might want to run those jobs a little bit more. Where it's a question of, okay, we need to focus on getting fuel right now so we can get out of here. But yeah, chat is craving latkes. So
Yes,
let's
I'm
get
seeing a
some.
lot because Lenny is one of my favorites. The original setup for this job was by our narrative designer Sherry, and she pitched about 4 different food related quests when we were first coming up jobs. We had latkes, cupcakes. I think we had like biscuits, all sorts of different food related ones, and latkes was the one that popped out. But Lenny is a lot of fun. He's got a little dog named Spud, and he owns the latke shop on Spacer's Folly.
So you ended up writing this one, didn't you, or is this all Sherry?
So it's Sherry gave the initial idea, and then I ended up doing kind of the punch up work to make it fit our short story format for the quests. But a lot of the base ideas and a lot of the characterization came from Sherry, and I just put in the vocabulary to punch it up.
Right. Let's get Ayla on this.
Oh yeah, sounds good. We're trying to fix Lenny's. They got an automatic potato peeler that they're trying to get fixed, and so Ayla's our tech person. I think she is probably the best one for the job.
So yeah, once you've assigned people to certain jobs, you do this. You kind of pass the time, and then time passes, the jobs progress, and these kind of little micro narratives continue, and then you're presented with like another choice or option, like here. So in this instance, you can see that had we not sent or had we sent someone with the deception skill, we would have had an additional option here, an additional way to progress. But in this sense, we sent Zeke. And I'm pretty sure Zeke can do a great job at negotiating a deal here.
Let's see. So yeah, Kim came up with some town guards. Got a fastidious. That's his big word for this paragraph. And then so we're gonna try to negotiate a deal with the town guards to get Kim his goods in the market. Who will not be a stretch? All right. I think that's a Martin question. You're a much better baker than I am.
Yeah, I actually used to be. I worked for a long time as a pastry chef. Keep a lookout for our DLC, Long Journey to Uncertain Latke, coming out in like 2024 or something. We'll consider it. Keep supporting. If we reach our stretch goals now, we'll have to think of new ones, and eventually latkes are going to be in there.
Yeah, we're going to keep expanding branding as much as possible. A Long Journey to an Uncertain Latke is potentially our Cooking Mama spinoff for this universe.
Yeah, cooking stream at 60K. That sounds.
Oh,
good.
there we go. Yeah, we can definitely try to work something like that in.
All right. So yeah, Lenny's industrial sized peeler is kind of broken down. And since we sent Ayla here, who is our tech person on crew, we can ask her to rewire the main control center.
So I do like this is a little bit of a combination of Sherry, Kylan, and I's. The description for the huge potato peeler has cables plugged into potatoes. And it was one of my favorite things because when we were talking about it, we all agreed that for whatever reason, just because the planet is so small, just literally everything in Lenny's life involves potatoes. So, his dog is named Spud. He runs a latke shop, and then his go-to fixer is I'll just plug wires into the potatoes and then it'll work. And so just figuring out little details like that are a lot of fun for these short jobs. There's such a small window we have to elaborate on a lot of these characters and make them stand out. But adding in those little details is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a really fun challenge. Like you said, it's not a lot of text, so you have to kind of condense it. All right. Yeah. Let's have Ayla rewire that main control center. See if we can lower the alternator's output instead of directly.
Mm-hmm. And that should be electronically. That should be correct. I texted one of my friends who's a electrical engineer, and he said that that is a thing that can happen. You can lower an alternator's output. So
So the research is there, people.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna pass some more time. And let's see here. So we had Zeke try to negotiate a deal, and eventually the guards just kind of wave him through.
Mm.
So now Kim obviously is happy with this. Again, scrupulous civil servants. So what we all also try to do with these things is at the end of each of these short jobs, and oftentimes long jobs as well, it's a question of what you do is not just a quote unquote role playing opportunity. It's also a question of what do you think would help you. So oftentimes, a job giver or a quest giver or whatever you want to call them can be like, hey, like have some additional supplies or such. And it's a question for you to decide, do I need those? What do I stand to gain by refusing them? Can I gain favor? Can I gain so and so? So it's we're trying to give you options that make you consider it as a player, instead of just looking at this will give me so and so and that will give me this and this. So
Mm-hmm.
in this case, we have the option to either get a friend's discount from Kim, or just wish him well and head off. Maybe this is something we can give to chat.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Quick characterization thing. I always pictured Kim doing this motion a lot while he talked. Just like reading his lines, I can just see him being like, I appreciate help from those scrupulous civil servants.
Yeah, good. See.
Mm-hmm.
So we can either get a friend's discount, or we can just wish him well.
Yeah, so those are the options. All right, I'm seeing discount from someone
Mm-hmm.
from Retributium. Oh, I'm seeing wish him well. I'm seeing another discount. We have a little bit of discourse going on in the chat right now. Oh,
let's see. Oh, we lost for a second the stream here. Sure, we get it.
Oh goodness!
In a moment.
I'm sure we will get this all moved around, but until then, hi. You can see a close up of me.
There we go. All right, stream's back open.
Now
you can see a close up.
Yeah,
gotta be fair about it.
Just cover all our bases. See.
There
Hello.
All right, let's see.
Oh, thank you. All right, so I'm seeing. All right.
Yeah, we're at a 50-50 now, I believe.
All right, I think we went with. Which option did we end up choosing? Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I believe we chose. We chose the give a friend's discount. It looks like. So yeah, that's
So now we jump back to the other job that we're running at the same time. So here, similarly to the previous one, we can now. Lenny's super happy with us fixing the conveyor belt and the peeler. So now we can either choose to just kind of grab an armful of black case, or just go, nah, black case are not really my thing.
I think. Let's see. I don't know. I always thought of Lenny as a pretty trustworthy, pretty on the nose about his options. So I would feel pretty safe grabbing an armful. What about chat? How are y'all feeling?
Considering the latke love in chat, I'd say that's a pretty safe bet.
I think grab an armful. Oh, mixed workflow. Yeah, there's so many great little details in a lot of the character art that I just I love. Why would you not take the? All right, I think that solidifies it. We ought to grab an armful a lot.
We gotta grab an armful. I'm good. So always appreciated. There we go. All right. So now when that we've done the jobs, again, you can see that they're essentially set as ready, meaning that we can now get the outcome based on what we did. So if we hit, let's have a look at Lenny's slot case again.
Mm.
So we open that, and we can see based on how we interacted and what we did, we get a little bit of RNG, skewed by our performance. But Lenny's super happy with this.
Hmm.
That's great results or good results.
Yeah, Lenny might even make a profit one day. I'll get it. Oh man.
Hey, and let's have a look at how Zeke's doing.
Hmm. Oh yeah, hooray!
Okay. All right, we got fuel. We should
Awesome,
be able to
alright.
make it to the next planet now. I'm pretty sure. This is not scripted, people. We might have been stuck at Spacer's Folly forever.
Yeah, that's actually a problem I had. The first time I played through the demo is I was like, you know what? What happens if I just assign the wrong person to each of the jobs? And then I didn't have any fuel, and I was like, well, that's what happens.
All right. Should we see? Let's leave some stuff for people to play and play the demo themselves and see the long jumps. Let's see if we can take off and make it to the next one.
Definitely. And then we're getting into a little bit more of a lot of the stuff you focused on, which is these sort of interplanetary crew dialogues, which are really cool.
Yeah, these were so much fun to write. So these are essentially here to kind of, especially for the demo, we're hoping to do them in the long form game as well as little interactions or randomized or narrative arc events. But for the demo, these were really kind of written to be a sort of introduction to everyone, tell you like this is who this is what they're about, and kind of give you an idea of how the game works as well. So Zeke is, I think I've been pretty open about, playing favorites. Zeke is my absolute favorite. It's I know Ro made that joke of the Arrested Development thing where I love all my children equally, except for so and so. And in my case, Zeke is a personal treasure for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, essentially at this point, the crew's gathering in the dining area. They're all kind of scouting around the kitchen. They're all sniffing the scents and the wonderful smell of cooking. And you kind of head on in to see Zeke zigzagging between flipping pans and stirring pots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and ask her what she's doing in the galley.
Check it out. Get some more info. Look like she's making dinner. Almost done. It's like my grandma always said, you can't rush good food. And that is very true. I have tried to rush good food, and it has turned out not being very good food.
Yeah, let's ask some more about Zeke. Let's see if did she learn cooking from her grandma? So I talked about how much I personally love writing for Zeke, but all the characters are super fun. Do you have anyone in particular that you out of the crew members? I know you're a fan of Lenny at least.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have anyone?
So out of the crew members, I'm pretty partial to Denny personally. I did a lot of in college. I did a lot of like esports stuff, and I interacted with a lot of people who have a very similar personality to Denny through that. And so I have a lot of inspiration I can draw on to come up with some of his more trolly kind of crap-eating grin lines.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure whenever somebody's writing for Denny because whenever we go into the edits and we look over everyone's writing, it's always fun to just see whenever something's been written for Denny, because it's going to be like he's going to be a little shit about something, and it's always fun to like see what people come up with.
Definitely. And real quick, I see it in the chat, but I do want to remind everyone, we did reach our main funding goal on Kickstarter, but we've still got a lot of stuff to go. We've got extra characters, extra planet types, a Switch port, all sorts of really awesome stuff still available on our Kickstarter. Vasti, thank you so much for supporting us. We do appreciate it. And if you know anyone else who may be interested in the game, feel free to send it their way, and hopefully you can give us a lot more stuff to work on and write for with our stretch goals.
Yeah, and like we got another comment just here about we've got plenty of really fun, interesting tiers. Some of them are getting NPCs or characters in the game, or adding your name. We have a name drop tier essentially.
Mhm.
We'll find a spot for you in the game. But one that's seeing a lot of love is the corgi level, because obviously you get the ship's OS, the canine operating system, corgi as a little plushie, and it's adorable.
And I mean, who doesn't need that in their life?
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, let's see here with Zeke. So she's just kind of giving us a little bit of insight into who she is and where she's from. Uh,
I
yeah,
do love. Oh, sorry.
no,
Didn't
go
mean to
on. Go on.
interrupt you. I do love the way you added in this sort of unintentional absent-mindedness to what she's doing when she's going, because she's just so focused on cooking and she's so all over the place with her forearms that she just forgets, like, oh right, the space kitchen, the thing, the we're in it right now, galley, like
Uh-huh.
that kind of vibe to a lot of the ways she speaks when she's really getting into all of her cooking.
Mm.
And I absolutely love that personally, because that's me on any given day, just trying to get through the day.
Yeah, no, she's great. She's super fun to read. Let's see. Let's be nice. Kitchen galley doesn't matter to me. It's okay.
I also like something that's interesting that I don't think we've quite explored. Are they still considered sailors if they're in space? It is a weird thing where it's they different games and books and everything approach it, because it is still technically a navy, but are they
Mhm.
still sailors? Are they spacers? Are they how would you address them? That might be something we need to bring up at our next narrative meetup.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's really interesting. I personally love the trope of using, like going full in
Mhm.
on naval terms. I remember it took me a long time in Firefly to get used to people referring to the ship as a boat, like
Mhm.
straight up. Uh, but yeah, I personally like using sailor here and there. But yeah, I think it's also a question of using this terminology to kind of show who is a little bit more familiar with traveling in space, whereas Seek might not be quite up there. Chuli's been around for a while, so they've got the gist of the terminology.
Mhm. Definitely.
So yeah, Seek here just kind of asking us about what's what and who's what and how exactly this works. Because again, for those of you who aren't fully aware, just joining us, in this ship, you are in this game, you are the ship. You're
Mhm.
not actually a character. So the one on the character you see on your left is basically your holographic representation, your visual representation of yourself. Uh, and it's a lot of fun to just kind of in these little interactions with the crew on a more casual or personal level. Uh, you know, to kind of play around with that and poke fun of it, especially with people that aren't as privy to it, such as Zeke.
It's very much, a lot of the jokes are a lot like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the character Toph. She makes a lot of jokes which will be like, "Whoa, look over there," while they're like flying around, but the character herself is blind, and so they're like, "Oh, look," and then she's just like, "I'm blind. Why would I be able to see anything?" And there's a lot of kind of mixing and matching with stuff like that with the hologram.
Mm.
I do see let's see, I do see a question. So, how does the branching narrative work? Will different dialogue options end with different endings? And yeah, so it's how a lot of the branching narrative works. At least for I'll primarily speak on the short jobs, because that's what I did the most writing on. But usually with the shorter ones, because you have like 1 to 3 total options, including the ending option, choosing those different dialogue options opens up specific ways you can interact with the characters, or you can have your crew members interact and use their specialties to their fullest. So I know on one of the jobs, I won't say which one, but it's if you end up being like a little bit more kind and a little bit more nice to this merchant that you meet, you have the option that doesn't appear on the recommended board, where you can use a one of the characters' abilities to sort of charm the merchant a bit more and get a higher discount, which eventually gets you to higher rewards at the end. As well as there's another one that it's a character specific option, but it's not something you would necessarily think of. And if you choose that specific character, or you do a couple different options leading up to choosing that specific character, you get almost a hidden ending for one of the short jobs that really shows off that character's personality, and also shows off the NPC's personality and how they react to someone they haven't really been around before.
Mm. And with regards to like long term branching narrative in the entire story itself, uh, we're working on that. So I don't want to like spoil too much or talk about it too much right now. But yeah, we are planning on having those choices really kind of affect not only the main course of the game, your escape from the villain, from your ex, but also how the crew members' narrative arcs, unfold and how they continue. And like I mentioned earlier, we're trying to do that in a bit more of a personable level, or a more more human level. So certain characters will respond well to certain things. Some people respond well to praise. Some people need to be sat down and told, hey, you need to like focus up, or you need to stop, or you're going to burn yourself out.
Mhm.
And kind of give you a little bit more of a human interaction with these people, rather than just having the mask. Should I work a 24-hour shift, and having you go yes, no. So yeah, we are hoping to see have your choices affect how people continue, and how people evolve, and what choices people make, essentially.
Mhm. And we're definitely hoping to get some nice replayability out of the game with a lot of that too. Of if this is me just throwing random things out, but if in one storyline you get Matthias can become the underground drag queen of the century or millennia or whatever in the galaxy, and then in another one they end up becoming like a space senator. You want to explore those options. Not saying those are going to be in the game. Just Matthias is the easiest to kind of throw extremes out for. So I just wanted to put those out. But lots of different options, like Martin was saying, that are very personable, but that you can also really choose to explore in different playthroughs as you learn more about these characters.
Mhm. Jumping back to the stream, let's see. So we're kind of messing with Zeke at this point. We're waving our arms around, uh,
Mm.
and she's asking if she's walking inside you. That's weird. So let's go ahead and be a little bit more sarcastic.
Hmm.
Which just weirds her out even more. So Zeke is of Filipino heritage, and uh, I think it's worth touching on, just that, just in general with the cast. I feel like it's been super obvious already that we are going for something so completely as diverse and as inclusive as we possibly can.
Hmm.
Uh, and on adding on to that me and Kolton are just part of the narrative team. There's many more of us, and uh, we are like, it's not just a question of like adding in inclusivity for inclusivity's sake. Is generally, I think like I speak for everyone when I say that we care about this a lot, and also that we want to do it right. So it's a question of research, of running things by sensitivity readers, making sure that the representations that are in the game not only are inclusive, but they also fair. Uh, they are done with care and done with the best interest in mind.
Mhm. Oh, definitely. I know, yeah, there are a lot of little bits and pieces that we try to mix in to show that heritage, and then as well as a big theme of the game is this, sort of new century, blending of cultures as well. Because I know, we have a list of just, some random, like, blended foods, like ramen noodle and stuff like that, just, showing these sort of when people were getting off of the Earth, millennia ago, it feels like in the space timeline, all of these cultures just kind of got smashed together on these big colony terraforming ships that were heading out there.
Yeah, like if the game is set in a far future, so we have that benefit of moving away from uh, prejudices or stereotypes that exist now. But the game's still coming out in a modern time, so we are still being like aware of it.
Mm,
Uh, that's a good question for chat here. We mentioned Firefly a few times. What other types of medium have inspired you to build a story in game? If I Since someone pointed out the bread in Seek's pocket, just the art in general is very inspired by Mobius, uh, and just in general like the kind of the old timey fantastical sci-fi rather than
mhm.
the kind of gritty lo-fi sci-fi that you see a lot as well. Uh, yeah, do you have any particular references that or anything that any types of media? You mentioned a few. Do you have any other ones that come to mind?
For me, a lot of comic books that I really enjoy personally. A lot of different Star Wars ones that I pull from, as well as some Anne McCaffrey books with like the Ship Who Sang, which was a pretty direct inspiration. The sentient spaceship, and then some short stories related to things like that as well. But a lot of cool sci-fi stuff, and like you said, very that kind of pulp sci-fi feel. Um, that is that very fantastical, in the year 2015 we'll all be flying around in spaceships and walking on hover sidewalks and whatnot, while still bringing in the sort of grounded reality that stuff like a Firefly has mixed into it.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of really interesting things we can pull from for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really 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 fun. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can get to the travel screen still.
Mm,
So let's ask, what's for dinner? So yeah, Seek's cooking corn, a lot of corn.
mhm.
Uh,
Nice.
and these are little fun things that I writing these dialogues I love doing, of adding. In my experience, like when you write wrenching dialogue, if there is a sarcastic or a snarky option, like 99% of people are going to go with it.
Mhm.
So let's go with either corny or popcorn. You know what? Let's leave it open to chat. Let's see what we get. So we can
Corny.
either just be nice and say that sounds amazing. We can ask why not popcorn, or we can just be very corny,
Yeah, a little snarky.
a little snarky. I remember we streamed this first time, and we were reading out the corn casserole, elote, lentil, and corn terrine, and mixed vegetable broth. People in chat were going like, "Wow, I want that now. Getting hungry now."
Mm. There's definitely a lot of great options that you can pull from. And then let's see, while we're waiting on some feedback, I'm seeing another question. So, are there any major positives of having a small narrative team? Um, so for me, I know a big positive is just there are a lot of time, and there's a lot of ease of just having like quick conversations about characters and all sorts of stuff. Martin and I have been working on something that will hopefully go out to you guys pretty soon. But while we were working on it, it was very easy to shoot a quick message and say, hey, I just got this stuff done. Can you look it over? Hey, I just looked it over. I got these edits done. All right, cool. I'll check those out. And that's been a big benefit for getting a lot of stuff
Yeah, for sure.
taken care of.
There's no overhead. There's no question of like running flat past 6 levels of leads and designers to see who to talk to. Like we have an idea of who's working on what all the time, which is really fun, and it just lends itself to being personable and just social experience.
I'm seeing a lot of corny in the chat.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh shucks, you beat me. Oof. She can deal it right back as quick as you can.
Popped into my head early. Get to Maze well. But I get you may as well be the one to make that joke, Colonel. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I see that laughing snake emote in our Twitch chat.
Sure, great conversation.
I think that's what we gotta go with.
Psh, ha. All right, Seek, tell us what to do. Here we go. So again, this touches on what I mentioned earlier. Like we are trying to do with, especially with the conversations in the demo, the conversations in the demo, we're trying to like add on to the importance of certain elements of the game, such as making sure you have fuel, making sure you have supplies, and we really want to bring it home that if you don't have supplies, it's not just a question of a number going to 0. It's a question of, you don't have supplies, nobody's eating. Nobody's, and we don't have stuff to fix things with. We don't have so and so. So we're hoping to kind of foster that immediate, personable connection to, when you get supplies, Seek's happy. Seek's like, all right, we can, make something other than corn lentil soup. So yeah, let's see. What do you need, Seek? So yeah, Zeke's giving a little bit of a rundown here. Let's see if we can get through this.
Definitely that college early 20s feel of whatever's in the pantry, I'm gonna make a meal out of it tonight. So.
Yep, exactly that. So we're giving out supplies. Is that what we're doing? So yeah, again, this is a question of do you have extra supplies? Do you use them on fancy things for the crew, or do you hand them out during certain jobs, which is an opportunity we give you sometimes. Yeah, thanks for the advice, Seek.
And this was something that I really loved that you did, and that I like that you mentioned, and that we ended up getting set up, was that in these little kind of inter-crew interactions, there are these little mini narrative branches where it does explore a little bit more of what you can do in the game with supplies, fuel, etc., where you can trade them with people. You can offer them as what's it called? Well, you can offer them as a bribe, but not necessarily a bribe, but as like a trade and other sorts of options with the supplies. And just letting people know, yes, like these are possibilities that'll happen in the demo and in the full game.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good talk, Seek. There we go. Matthias coming in a little bit. Let's join them for dinner. Even if we're a ship and we can't really eat, let's do that. So yeah, this is our travel screen essentially, or the travel scene as it exists in the demo. So here it's I know we've gotten a lot of questions about linearity, but yeah, the demo is really kind of representative of to kind of show you how the game works and how the characters work and how the narrative works. But yeah, in the actual game, we are planning on making these kind of choices that you can make here as well, like which planet do you go to, and it's a question of what is on that planet and how much fuel do you have. Can you actually get to that planet in time? And so yeah, at this point, if you would like to see more of these planets and more of these options, then please check us out on Kickstarter. We've been lucky enough to be funded already 100%, but we're adding stretch goals, we're adding new things and ideas and things we want to do if we can provide the right funding. So yeah, if you've already backed, that's fantastic. You are great, and we are super appreciative. If you haven't, yeah, go. We have links in chat pretty much wherever you're watching this. Go have a look. We have tons of really fun tiers and different ways of, either just helping, supporting the game, or just even getting your own stuff in there. Creating NPCs, creating characters, and we have a tier for having a corgi plushie, which you how can you say no?
Or if you just want to interact with Martin and I more, we do have a Discord that we message fairly frequently. We do some answers. We talk about some demos. We recently added a fan theory channel, so all of your headcanon of corgi having a secret virtual pet friend hiding out in the universe, feel free to all right, that I thought I was going somewhere with that, and then it totally left my brain as I started elaborating. But anything like that, feel free to post it, as well as you can just hop in, ask us questions, or just let us know what you think about the game as well.
Fan theory channel is going to blow up now. Like Kolton, I just spilled this. Spoilers. There's something up there. He almost spilled it.
Yeah, right. All right.
Putting together a red string.
So I don't know if we have enough time to really get started on the next world, but I think we should have enough time to at least show off the really fun travel animation that I am a massive fan of. So yeah, we have got...
Quick note on that, by the way. You see Ayla pop up and be like, hey, you're doing good. That's one of the variables for tracking, essentially, a morality system. So if you do well, or you send the right crew on the right things, they're going to be happier. And the happier they are, different things will change, and you will see and do new things. So yeah. I love the colors, by the way, on the traveling screen.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, we've landed at Harmony, a space station. Yeah, like you said, I don't think we have too much time, but at this point, we're kind of looking for something here, and Truly might have a way to kind of help us out with that. It's a shame Ro isn't here. I know Ro is a huge fan of Truly, and Ro writes Truly as well.
We do have Truly Tribe as our first official fandom for the game. So there's another reason to join the Discord. You can talk with all of your fellow Truly Tribe members.
Yeah, we just added a Truly emote even. Like, we got emotes for everyone.
We did get some really cool emotes in. I'm very excited about that. And then I would like to point out, we had the Sailor Spacer discussion earlier. Truly is saying Spacer here instead of Sailor, so I think that may be the default for the experienced people. They refer to them as Spacers, and then Sailor is the maybe the old head or the kind of inexperienced person's term.
This was a really fun conversation to write, to just be kind of let people get into the headspace of Truly. Let's ask her ask at them what Spacer Air is. So yeah, it's a big old thing. We're not gonna read it out completely because again, go check out the demo if you haven't already. It's really, really fun. It's really, really interesting, and
it's a lot of fun. You can check it out on Steam, and if you want to wishlist us on there too, that actually helps a lot, and then you will get a ton of the updates on the game. If you can't necessarily commit to the Kickstarter right now, but you do think the game looks really cool, wishlisting is another really fantastic way to support us on Steam, and it's one of the fastest way to download the demo and check out this crazy game that we've been talking about for an hour.
Yeah, I noticed someone pointing out they love the updates we've been putting out. So yeah, like you said, the Discord and on Steam in general. Go have a look. Go follow us. Go see, because we do put up stuff fairly often, whether that be space recipes or like mini stories or just general like updates about the game. We try to share a lot and just make it very clear that this is a labor of love.
We are running into our last minute here, so I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Another quick reminder to check out A Long Journey to an Uncertain End on Kickstarter. And my name is Kolton, and I'm a part of the narrative team. And we've also got Martin, who's a part of the narrative team, and we appreciate y'all joining us for our Q&A today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have a good one, folks. Thanks for
Mhm.
joining us.
See you guys later.
See ya.